Evening one, evening all to Friends for Who on the Daleks. I am your host, Adam the Ultimate Whovian, and I'm here with Parachute Walker.
One of you killed Lucy. Sorry, I just watched EastEnders.
No,
Hi
Bum,
everyone.
bum, 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 bum. And Scaramondas Productions.
hello. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, and all the revenue coming from, watching EastEnders is coming to me because I'm a
I
hacker
don't
like
watch
that.
it. I don't watch it normally. I'm just watching it this week. Don't know why. I
Yeah,
was
there's
actually
this whole
surprised.
life thing bullshit.
Don't like EastEnders.
So yeah, we're gonna go through all the Dalek color schemes throughout the years because there's been quite a few color schemes that sort of I really like and sort of go through sort of the stories they're in and such and such. So yeah, of course the original, the first Daleks that appeared in the Daleks, the color scheme of the sort of the grey and the blue balls, which I really like. Sort of when you have the figure in color, and you look at it and you're like, wow, and they're really effective and cool at the time. I'm going to start with Scaramondas. What do you think of this sort of the Daleks in the Daleks as they looked?
Yes, I rather like them. I mean, I like the blue ball thing and like
Mm.
the color, like the grey. I think they go well together, and especially for that time in the '60s, I think I think it rather suits that time. Like, I quite like them. Yeah.
Harry.
Yeah, I like them. I mean, I like the blue orbs. They work well on the sort of the grey armor, and I think yeah. I mean, the iconic ones are the ones that they're popular in the Dalek Mania, and obviously this was sort of the genesis of the fundamentals of the design. So the eye stalk and the gun and the sucker and like sort of pepper pot kind of shape. So that kind of sort of started that. And obviously it's been an iconic design, which is a part of pop culture in itself. Like Doctor Who, but it can be its own separate thing because if you don't, because Daleks, they're one of the things that are most associated with Doctor Who as well as the TARDIS, and so they can be their separate thing really. They're referenced to a lot in pop culture, and like the design itself, even though there's loads of variations, this was this was basically the start of the fundamentals of it all. So yeah, I like it. It looks really cool.
I must say, it all starts with a very flat base. The base is, of course, if you compare it to sort of more modern day Daleks, it is quite a thin base. So this sort of that's how the Daleks
Yeah.
sort of got around during the years. Yeah. But Dalek, when you sort of go to the next sort of William Hart story, the Dalek Invasion Earth, they sort of have these bigger
Mm.
um yeah, what's surfaces just because they've started to get buff like that. Yeah. So, what do you think of sort of the Daleks with the bigger bases from the Dalek Invasion of Earth and the dish on the back? Start with Harry.
It doesn't really make much of a difference, really.
I know. I like the black Dalek, like the Source of Commander on some of the sides it's like black, and then some of the sides is like silver. And I remember when they did a Forbidden Planet exclusive figure. One of them was the first Doctor and the Dalek Source of Commander, and that was one of the very first sort of classic Daleks. And I was like, wow, that looks really really cool.
It does look,
Um,
yeah.
and
I like the one with the different stripy, like on its, when it's got its orbs, like the different kind of stripes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is really cool. How about you, Matthew?
I can't really comment on them, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it's some interesting improvements, I guess, but no, I can't really say much. I mean, it's pretty much exactly the same, with a few differences. But yeah, just like the Skara Daleks, I do like them. Yeah.
Mm. So I thought I'd move on to more of the Pertwee Daleks. The gold, the grey, the silver. Oh, the silver. Really, I enjoy the silver. Um, just getting sort of the death of the Daleks was it was really cool. And especially when you see when I saw this in artwork just before I was going to watch the episode, it's really cool. I like the silver, more silver slash white with the black baubles. on the side. It was quite cool, and of course, it went up in flames in the episode and fell off the cliff. So, what do you think of the Pertwee Daleks? So, start with Matt.
So which ones? The grey ones, yeah.
Any of the Pertwee Daleks, the grey, the gold, and the silver.
Yeah, I really do like the gold one. I think it's quite a unique sort of color scheme, and I quite like it. Yeah. The silver one also really good. I mean, like what you said earlier, I do like the black orbs. Think that they work pretty well. The grey ones, yeah, they're quite good, but I think I do prefer the gold ones. I really like the gold ones and the silver ones, of course.
Yeah, I think in Genesis they just work for me because all the different shots of them and that really extreme close up when sort of they exterminate Davros or paralyze him or whatever they forgot what actually happened in Genesis, and then that close up of the Dalek saying we will become beings of the universe. That moment just sticks in my head so much. How about you, Harry, with the Pertwee Daleks?
Well, first of all, I noticed something about the eye stalk in that it's sort of different from the first one because it was the first one was just sort of like a white light, but the Pertwee Daleks they seem to have like a black circle in the middle, and then a white circle around that, and then obviously a black outer shell. I think that looks more menacing. I don't know why. I just think it looks more sharp and it looks more like it's fixated on you. So if it come towards you and kill you, I think that looks more scary. So I like that. That's a nice subtle thing. Other than that, I like the different uses of color schemes. I love the Supreme Council Dalek, the yellow and like the black and yellow one. That's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, I just like the variation going on. I think that it's really cool how they've kind of got different ranks of Daleks and obviously like giving them a different color scheme. So yeah, that's great. Just sort of shows how they really evolved in design and history.
Yes, absolutely. So now I sort of go over to the 80s Daleks. There was still some silver, but of course there was a Dalek called the Supreme Renegade Dalek.
Oh, sorry, but you were talking about the all the 70s Daleks.
Oh, was I? Yes. The 70s Daleks.
I thought it was just Pertwee.
Yes. Yeah, the Pertwee
Oh, there's
Dalek.
not much else to say. Sorry, go on.
It's okay. I do like when they exterminate. They leave. There's like a blue strip.
Yeah.
And that moment in Destiny of the Daleks where they just go, "Do not move, do not move, do not move." I needed to get that out there.
I don't like that. It's not fresh. Do not move. Do not move. But what was it? They were saying something like, "Seek, locate, exterminate." No, just no.
It's funny that in my head, that Michael Wisher did the voices for the Daleks in Genesis, as well as playing Davros. That was. I'm trying to get that in my head. What do you think of sort of the Dalek voices? Well, I was talking about the designs and sort of, I was doing all that stuff, the classic voice of the Daleks. So I'm gonna start with Harry.
Well, I would really love to remember the names of all the guys that did them, but
It was Peter Hawkins to begin with.
Well, the first ones, I'm trying to remember what they sound like. Well, they sound pretty much, the same, really. I think they got more threatening as they went along. In fact, no, I think they started off, threatening.
Yeah.
Like in Genesis, they were even more threatening.
Absolutely.
I don't think Nicholas Briggs. I mean, I think he does good Dalek voices, and even though he has a voice modulator, I think he really puts the sort of Dalek. I'm not sure how
Emotion.
the emotion. He puts the emotion into the voice, but
And the anger and stuff. I quite like that.
I don't think it's a scratch on the 70s Daleks, though. I think they sound really like maniacs,
Yeah, I like that. How about you, Matt? Where do you stand on the classic Dalek voice?
So there's classic, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll get on when they talk about modern Daleks.
Okay. Yeah, I think in the classics, they're a bit more intimidating. I think with their voices, I quite like them. I mean, throughout the classics, they didn't really change that much, but intimidating threat, to be honest. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yes, of course. Why did I not off that? Yeah, 70 Daleks. Just love. I need to rewatch Genesis. You've been so long. But anyway, we move on to the 80s Daleks. Sort of grey, but I love the I do like when we sort of introduced to the Supreme Renegade Dalek in the first part of Resurrection. It was really cool. He was black and had white baubles. That was quite good. But also the Necros Daleks from Revelation, the Imperial Daleks. So let's just have an 80s Dalek fangasm before we talk about the modern Daleks. So starting with Matt.
80s. You know what? I'm not sure if I can say I prefer them to the 70s, but I think it's pretty close. But in the 80s, you can't forget the Special Weapons Dalek. One of the most powerful
Yes.
Daleks there is, and definitely my favorite. And it's a great action figure as well. But yeah, Special Weapons Dalek. You just what do you think? 80s Daleks. You just got to mention the Special Weapons one, and all the other Daleks are great as well. The Imperial, they were great. The Necros, quite similar really, but they
Hmm.
were good as well. Yeah, I really do. I really like the 80s, and they're a bit more sort of white and yellowish, which I think is a good color scheme, and I think it especially works for the 80s. But yeah, Special Weapons Dalek in particular, just great.
That sound effect when the Special Weapon Daleks fire, and
Yeah.
just a shot of the few Daleks exploding. Oh, I love it. How about you, Harry?
Well, I gotta echo what Matt said. Really, I think that the Special Weapons Dalek. I mean, like it's probably the sort of the symbol really for the '80s Dalek designs, and it looks amazing, and like do a lot of damage, and they were great in Remembrance of the Daleks, and it was, and I'm not sure if my memory's right. I think they popped up in Engines of War.
Oh yeah, they must have done. They were cool. I think they were the Degradations or something like that.
Yeah, no, I think the degradations were separate to the special weapons. I'm not sure, but they probably popped up. Yeah, they popped up in End of the War. Yeah, and I like the Necros Daleks and the Imperial Daleks, the white and or grey and yellow. They look really cool. And yeah, but the special weapons Dalek just oh, that's awesome. I mean, when you like when I used to collect Doctor Adventures, right?
Mm.
Occasionally they would have the sort of like the little monster minifigures, like those
Oh right.
little Dalek figures. They like I've got like loads of them in like a box, and there's like loads of like green coloured ones, orange coloured ones, and green just like different coloured ones that like really stupid bright colours. And I wish they
Yeah.
did like special weapons Daleks, so then you could like set them up on your bedroom floor, and then you can just make a big Dalek battle. Wouldn't that just be amazing?
I
Like
know, right?
special weapons Dalek. And like you said, it would be a great action figure. I wish I could have one.
Absolutely. So yeah, those are the 80s Daleks, and what I'd really love in for Series 9 is a finale where it's a Dalek civil war again, like different Dalek fractions. Because I remember during the Doctor experience, there was the part with the Daleks, and then there was for the Matt Smith one part at least, not the Capaldi one. I haven't been to the Capaldi one, but really, really want to. They have like a Dalek civil war going on. There's like there's like the paradigm, and then there's a Dalek sec sort of talking to the Daleks. Do you get where I'm sort of going? I sort of
Yeah.
like imagine if they sort of
All right.
I don't know. I just want another Dalek civil war. Like maybe the paradigm Daleks come back just for like a these were maybe there's a timeline where those Daleks actually went off. They were sort of still around. I don't know because I think it's quite unjustified why they sort of go back to the Bronze Daleks from
Yeah.
even though for Day of the Doctor technically it would be fine because they were playing a part of history. They were the Daleks from they were before sort of 9 and 10 and 11 sort of came about their adventures, but they went of course they 10 and 11 went back in the Day of the Doctor. So
Yeah.
Kind
I
of a
think.
continuity error in itself, actually, that they didn't actually explain where those paradigm Daleks went.
Yeah.
you think they
Well,
went to Pandorica? Is that the whole point?
Hmm.
I think a Dalek Civil War would be great because we've had it, of course, in Remembrance, but
Yeah.
I haven't actually listened to Evil. But if I'm not mistaken, there is a Dalek Civil War in that. Yeah, right? Is there?
Possibly.
Yeah, I think there
What's
is.
that?
Apparently there's a Dalek Civil War and Evil of the Daleks, but I haven't listened to it, so I'm not sure.
Well, I think that was meant to be where the Daleks were meant to end. They weren't going to bring them back after that, but they did.
Ah, that would make sense then. But yeah, I think it's definitely a Dark Civil War would be definitely the right direction to go down, especially one modern audiences for like new Who fans who haven't experienced stuff like Remembrance or listen to Evil but doesn't exist, which is a shame. But
Mhm.
I think it would be it'd be sort of different because you haven't really witnessed that in New Who, and I think it's definitely the right direction to go down if they had the guts to do it. But I think they will. They should do anyway.
Yeah, so I petitioned Dalek Civil War with the paradigm, and oh, I don't know, because Asylum of the Daleks pretty much butchered the fact that you can't throw in, classic Daleks and do anything with them. But I'd
Nah,
say, you
no, you
know,
can't. Well, you can. But I think it's just. Well, it's a bit. I think it would be hard, so I will give Moffat credit for that. But
You can do stuff with classic Daleks. You can use them to market your episodes.
yeah,
Use them to get fans excited, get the fangasms going.
yes, absolutely. And
And then
sorry, I was just wanted to put that idea. I want Dalek Civil War finale for Series 9, but we'll probably get shit like Gallifrey
yeah.
or Missy.
Let's start a petition. Let's start a petition.
I don't think we're going to get Gallifrey in Series 9.
I think we will.
I
We
think
will.
I think Moffat's going to leave it for a while.
No, I think we will. I think we will. After where Series 8 left off in Death and Heaven, I think they were hinting at Gallifrey return sometime. Possibly
Yeah.
three.
There's a part of me that thinks they'll do that towards the end of Capaldi's era, though.
Do you think Time Lords are sort of escaping Gallifrey? Like, well, the Master sort of came to Earth, but do you think there may be more coming momentarily?
There could be.
Well, Missy's confirmed to return for Series 9, so
Yeah, I just hope they sort of bring a bit more into it apart from just the Doctor and Missy.
alright. Oh
Maybe
yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
maybe like a Time Lord servant, like Dimensions in Time. All right, guys. So we're going to move on to the new series Daleks. Ones that we grew up with, ones that we were scared by, voiced by Nicholas Briggs and stuff. So let's just go through all the talk about from 2005 to I guess 2010 and 2013 and 2014 stuff. So the Bronze Daleks, guys. Starting off with Harry.
Oh, I love the Bronze Daleks because obviously, the ones I grew up with, the ones that stuck out with my head. I remember images of me, just like just watching them as a child. I remember images of them on the television, and just and I remember that moment in Army of Ghosts where they came out of the Sophia,
Yeah.
and then that cliffhanger, that was amazing. And yeah, like I just like I like the blue eye stalk. I think that's pretty cool, and they look like like I'm not dissing the production values of the old series, but as opposed to them, I think that these Daleks look like tanks. They look like fighting like war tanks that you don't want to mess with. Right, mess with yes. I think they're really cool, and they look great. And I also like the cool Skaro thing they had going on,
Mm.
and Daleks, yeah, and they made Dalek Second Black Dalek, and yeah. And can we talk about the human Dalek hybrid?
Go on then.
Yeah, I like I like Dalek Sec Hybrid. I thought that was a really sort of uneasy design to look at, and I actually have two figures of him. I have one of him in 5-inch and one of him in 12-inch, which I actually got from my auntie and uncle. I didn't ask for it, but they got it me anyway. So but I really like the look of him because it's obviously meant to be human Dalek hybrid, so it's just like it's the octopus looking thing, the squid, whatever you like to call it, with the human body, and like that it looked really cool, didn't it? I thought it just looked really unnerving, and the brain as well, the way you saw the brain, and you actually saw at the back of his head, you saw the sort of spinal cord thing the back of his head, which was
Yeah.
yeah. No, but I like the design of that. So yeah, the bronze Daleks, they were really cool. They look like tanks. They're awesome. Sorry, I went
Although,
wild there.
no, that's absolutely fine. We sort of need to keep this ball rolling. But I think the first time the Daleks really looked like tanks for me was the special weapons. I think,
Oh,
since then they're just, you know,
Yeah,
brilliant.
I'd agree with that also. Yeah, I'm just saying that these Daleks, you know.
I do like the Ironsides as well. I
Oh,
think the
no,
color scheme at least, because it's ironic that the Dalek was sort of green, sort of mix of green and brown, but we didn't get a green and brown paradigm Dalek. Ironic. So Matt, what do you think of the modern Daleks?
so is this just 2010s or are we?
Just the 2005 Daleks, and then we'll do paradigm afterwards.
Okay. Right. So yeah, like Harry said, these are the Daleks, that I grew up with, and it's all the ones that I knew as Daleks really. But I mean, they're a lot different to like the classic designs, as in like color, because in the classics we had like grey, white, and all that sort of stuff. And this is a different color scheme, and I quite like it. I mean, it's not the best, but I quite like it. I like the blue eye stalk as well, and
Hmm.
especially in Dalek, when one Dalek just kills like a load of people, which is just great. And I like Dalek's tech as well. He was great, and especially when he became like the human hybrid, I quite like that. I quite like the design of him. Especially at that time, one of the big things like toy stores was the mask you could buy. That was great, and I wanted to get one, but I never did, unfortunately. But yeah, I quite like him. I mean, not my favourites, but we're at that point. Almost 10 years. Since they came back,
Hmm.
really. And I think I'm like one of those people who's got to that point and say, I think we should get a new type of Dalek now. Not nothing like the paradigms, but we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I think we do need a new design now. But at the time, sort of throughout the Tennant era, they were great. And one moment that always sticks out to me from when I was watching it, the original transmission, is in the Stolen Earth when one Dalek just kills that whole family. That's just one moment that sticks out always when I think of it. Yeah, when I
Hmm.
think of it.
horrid but so good because it was threatening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Supreme Dalek. One thing about that, why does it have those yellow like sticky out things on like its four corners? I don't get it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I didn't
It
like
looks
them.
cool, but why? And why an extra light bulb at the top?
Oh yeah, I liked it being red though. That was good.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was brilliant actually. Um, I will sort of get on to a few more discussions. How about what do you guys think of the mutants inside the Daleks? Like, because I thought it's a Dalek discussion. I thought, when you sort of see Dalek Khan just sort of in there and sort of seeing the mutants in remembrance of the Daleks and stuff like that. How sort of disturbed were you, sort of looking, sort of staring into the eye of Dalek? I think Dalek Khan sort of brings it into my mind of how really Daleks can just go mad and insane, just out there and speak what pretty much is the truth of the Daleks. Yeah, starting with Matt.
Yeah, well, at the time when I first saw the Stolen Earth and and see that type of dark, like the mutant and all that, I didn't see the classics at that time, so I didn't know that there was a mutant inside it. But when I saw that for the first time, I was like, "Is that what's inside?" I think it's one of those moments it was really quite hard to grasp. And so yeah, it was a bit of a shock, and it looked quite creepy, didn't it? Really, like the
Mm.
sort of things and all that. It was great. I did like it, but yeah, I think to be honest, I think it does look better in 2008 than it did in the classic series because it looked a bit, especially that it talked and all that. It was great. Yeah.
Basically, we've got four viewers, and I'm worried that half of them are children. And I just want to say, Daleks are not robots; they are mutants inside cold metal cages. And Harry, what do you think of mutants?
They look really cool. I think. Whoops, just dropped my laptop. Yeah, they look really cool. And I like. I think they do look better in the new series purely because I think they look more realistic because they've got the
Hmm.
sort of substance on them makes them look more real. And the pulsing in the brain and everything that looks really just realistic. Yeah, I think it's a really cool design, and I think that the way you see the brain, it just sort of shows that these creatures are just mad. They're mad and they're cold-hearted, and their brains popping out of their head. But I like I always love the things that David Tennant says about like inside that cold metal tank is a creature that's born to hate or something
We sought to destroy everything and everyone that isn't a Dalek.
yeah, it's just things like that, just sort of because the Daleks are sort of behind closed doors, and maybe that might just be an inkling of some insecurity or something. I don't know.
The Fourth Doctor was bloody strangled by one of them.
Yeah, I like the sort of there's a little squid thing in there. It makes you sort of poke fun at them. If you couldn't poke fun at the pepper pot motif in the design, but oh well. Yeah, I think it's pretty cute.
Yes. So yeah, what I sort of like is that how actually never mind. The paradigm Daleks. Sorry, I sort of scrapped that idea. I thought when when you sort of say something in your head and you're like, where's this going? And I sort of stopped. So yeah.
Yes, I'm like that all the time on Hangouts.
Yeah, paradigm Daleks.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. In Victory of the Daleks, there were 3 remaining renegade Daleks that, survived the Journey's End battle. Of course, there was going to be some that survived. They were going to have the 11th Doctor give a testament, and out come these Teletubby, Power Ranger, Care Bears, Jelly Baby, Smarties, Skittles. How far am I going with this? Daleks. So yeah, Harry, what do you think of the Paradigm Daleks? Sort of start with, do you have a positive opinion on them?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
We'll start with you.
Well, I don't know why people hate them. I mean, I can see why, because it's such a drastic change, really. I mean, we really you really only had sort of set color schemes, so the black and yellow and the white yellow and things like that, and the bronze Daleks and the red Supreme. But I think they're cool. I mean, I like when they came out of the what was that machine they came out of? I can't remember what it was. It was that thing in Victory of the Daleks that they all came out of. The Janitor, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came out when they came out of that, I was like, ooh, they look interesting. Even though they've got a little random bump on the back, which I don't understand why. I think it's probably just air conditioning. I think they look really awesome, and I love how there's actually a real eye inside the eye stalk. There's evolution in the eye stalk,
Yeah.
And I like how they've got roles so you got the Supreme, the Strategist, the Drone, the Eternal, the Scientist. I think that's really cool. I just think really they weren't given a chance. Really, they weren't given a proper chance. They because they popped up at the end of Victory of the Daleks. So that wasn't much time. They weren't the main villains in the Pandora Opens Big Bang, even though they were, they pretty much were in the Big Bang, but they were just stone Daleks for most of the episode.
Yeah.
So I think that really, if there was actually a proper Dalek story where we actually got to see, the sort of roles of each Dalek come into play, then I think maybe they could have been given a little bit more respect by fans, but they're just subject to a joke really, just because of their colour schemes, and they've not really been given much chance to sort of shine really and show how threatening they are. So yeah, that's a shame really. And it's annoying that they've just gone back to the bronze Daleks. Just nah, we're just gonna be wimps about this and not use them again. We'll go back to the ones the normal ones. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, bye.
Yeah. What I sort of like is you can sort of tell the difference in voice. You sort of think that Nicholas Prick's put on more of a deeper sort of voice to them. I always thought those Daleks sounded a lot deeper, and that's how I could distinguish them. Like in Asylum of the Daleks, shit story, but I could tell that Nicholas Briggs sort of had a difference between him, sort of the paradigm the regular Daleks and the Supreme Dalek, when he was talking to the 11th Doctor. This conversation is irrelevant. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So even then they sort of had a decent enough play, but not enough afterwards, But what sort of bugs me is not the eye. I think the eye bit's cool, but the actual thing around it, those sort of
Yeah.
I think they over exaggerated it, like many different bits, and they don't have the proper
It's not as
plats.
prominent as that in the show. They're little ridges. They're not like a it's not like Star of David or anything like that.
Hmm. Yeah, and sort of they don't have the not the balls, but the thing on top of it, around the gun and the thing. They don't have what is pretty much iconic to the Daleks. Those plats.
Yeah.
They sort of and I don't like the design of the thing above the how to explain Dalek designs. It's I just think it's a bit of I think the Paradigm Daleks really are an over exaggerate. I think the color scheme's fine, but a bit of an over exaggeration design of the Daleks. What about you, Matthew?
Well, as you can probably guess, I don't like them. I mean, I like the rankings and all that. That's a good idea, but it's the thing is, I like pictures like Genesis of the Daleks. When they say the Daleks will become the most feared thing in like
Yeah.
creation, and then you just see a picture of like the Paradigm Daleks, and you just wouldn't be able to take that seriously whatsoever. And take
Yeah.
seriously at all. So, and I think that's the main problem with these Daleks. You cannot take them seriously. It's like the Teletubbies, the Power Rangers, the list goes on. But yeah, I
Mm.
mean, I like some colors. I mean, the white looks alright.
Mm.
What else is there? The dark red, that's alright. But I mean, stuff like orange, yellow, and blue and red. Like the bright red. I don't like the
I
idea.
call it blue.
Yeah, the blue is okay. I mean, it's better than some of them, but I'm glad it's not. I'm glad it's not. I'm glad there's not a pink one. But yeah,
I'd like to be a grey
the
one.
yellow-
That'd be cool.
The yellow and the orange, maybe they're a bit too far, but I think the blue,
Yeah.
the red, and the white, I think they look fine to me.
But the thing is, with these Daleks, I think what it looks like to me is, like the BBC have been looking on Tumblr for like different Dalek designs, and they just pulled them off Tumblr and just created them. And yeah, like you said, they were a bit over exaggerated. They're quite bulky and all that. And no, I just don't like them, to be honest. No.
Hmm. Well, they were. So I'm trying to get back to the page now. Yeah, I sort of like how they got, in a way, in Asylum of the Daleks, apparently they're sort of more dark and metallic. Well, for what you saw of them, anyway. I sort of don't know how to comment on the Daleks, sort of after the Paradigm Daleks were sort of gone out of their way, sort of returned to bronze and did stuff from there, really.
Let's talk about the 1960s movies. I really like those.
I like the 1960s movies one as well. Let's go on a 1960s movie fest.
Yeah.
These were multicolored Daleks done quite well, actually.
Yeah.
They still looked like Daleks. They didn't look bulky and over exaggerated, and I think they look cool. And instead of like the sucker, they sort of have a pincher,
The claw.
their claw. I sort of like them in sort of a new series. When I love the one where there's sort of the fire one in Parting of the Ways, and the Crucible ones. That claw, the Crucible Daleks. Those were quite cool and quite like that. So, Matthew, what do you think of the '60s Daleks? Do you like them?
The movie ones, I love them. I mean, yeah, they're great. I mean, I actually do like the Peter Cushing movies. I mean, there's something it's a bit of fun, really, and I think the Daleks just go with that. I mean, they're very weird and wonderful designs, but I think they work so well in the films. I mean, I like their sort of variant on like the Scar Daleks, like the second in command. The first in command's great, and I just love all. It's sort of like the paradigms, same sort of concept, having them rankings and stuff like that. Same sort of thing, but I think, well, actually, the paradigms are quite similar, they're multicolored and all that. But I think these ones work a lot better with like the Dalek Saucer Commander, and just to name a few, they're all great. And to be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing some of these in the show now. I mean, you might get the same sort of criticism from paradigm haters, saying, but I do like them. I really do like them. Yeah, they're great.
I think all I can say is if they do, don't make them over exaggerated and make them look Dalek. Have them the Dalek
Yeah.
things that make a Dalek a Dalek. Yeah, Harry.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, I like the difference in sort of utensils like the claw, obviously, and the color schemes. They look really cool, and they look nice. I mean, I think like unlike the like the paradigm Daleks, they are, they do sort of grab your attention because they are like they make use of bright colors, but I think it's done in a rather sophisticated way in that they still look interesting,
Yeah.
and they still look threatening. I think so. Yeah, I agree with Matt. I'd quite like to see them in the show today. If they are going to do a new design, then I think it should be something similar to this.
Yeah.
And like that, you can still have your different sort of ranks and your different sort of factions by changing the color scheme. So yeah, it opens the doors to possibilities.
Indeed, it does. I really do like. I have fond memories of the spaceship in the Cushing Dalek movies, even though I sort of don't remember them as well as I should do. I think I remember the Dalek spaceships, and they sort of when they move around and that was quite cool.
They're good movies, actually.
They're
I've, I've,
fun.
I've only seen Doctor Who and the Daleks, not the other one.
Oh,
I
Dark and
can't remember what I see. I know they're on Channel Five. They got Channel
I
5 quite a lot.
remember in Doctor Who and the Daleks when like did you see the thing inside the Dalek? It didn't. I don't think it was a squid looking thing. I think it was just a green hand.
Valkyrie.
The Hand of Eldrad.
I can't really remember. All I can remember is just like the characters calling the Doctor Doctor Who, and the Doctor was a human.
Yeah. They're repeating them on Channel 5, so I remember watching like a recorded version with my friend, and yeah, I quite enjoyed them.
Hmm.
Oh, 5. Phew.
We talked about the classic voice. What do we think of Nicholas Briggs?
Sorry,
Because I could
sorry. Can I just say something?
carry on, carry on,
I remember.
carry on. Yeah.
I remember. I saw one of the Cushion films on BBC Two when I was younger, and they ended up on Channel 5. How does that work?
I know, right?
Well, I watched the weird Canine movie on the Channel 5.
There was a K9 movie. I thought there was
Or
just.
it could have been an episode of that horrible spin-off, the Australian one.
Could have been feature length,
That was on Disney XD. What the hell was that all about?
It's everywhere.
Why did it even exist?
Yeah, I know, Canine looks ridiculous in it. It doesn't even look like Canine.
Heck, John Neeson provided the voice for it. I mean, what?
Also, how are Disney involved?
I don't know, how do they have the rights to broadcast that?
Yeah.
Weird.
And Channel 5, that's weird as well.
Dear God. Yeah. So
Although,
we talked
it's
about
probably just lending the rights.
Hmm. So Nicholas Briggs did the Dalek voices. We sort of touched on the Dalek voice in the classic series. Nicholas Briggs, and I sort of keep thinking in my head, he's now the definitive voice of the Daleks for the 8th Doctor. You know, he's the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So he's done 5 Doctors now, which is he's done more in but as for the definitive Dalek voices, he's sort of technically really done 5 in that regard. So of course, he would have done 1, 2, 3, 4 extra Doctors, but yeah, I think that's quite cool. What do you guys think, Harry? What do you think of Nicholas Briggs doing the Daleks? But and you can touch on the other monsters he does as well.
Yeah, like I said earlier on, he provides a great voice. You know, the intonations and all that works on it well, and provides the variations as well for different kinds of Daleks. So he has the really high, sort of mad-sounding voice, and the deep, gruff kind of threatening one. And even though he has a voice modulator, he does it fantastically. And in Big Finish as well, he does it really well. And it sounds really effective on audio. And the other side, the other monsters he does, that they're pretty cool. Like Cybermen, they sounded really unnerving. like intense era. I'm part of Matt Smith, so I'm not quite sure on the sort of deep voice of the Cybermen nowadays. Really,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
I think it's alright, but I prefer the old. I prefer the old one really. In fact, I much prefer if they made it like the original in 10th Planet.
Hmm.
Thought that sounded like the best out of all of them. And what else has he done?
Would you do?
The Jadoon. Oh, the Jadoon. Yeah, they were pretty funny. Those
They were
voices.
my first proper sort of aliens in a way. I
They
like,
were,
sort of-
yeah. Wow.
Well, the Cybermen on the bridge. Then it was the 10th Doctor trying to get Donna to open a door, and then sort of come to the whole of Smith and Jones. So
What's
that's
that been like for you? For them to be your first proper aliens?
well, my first proper like watching the whole thing. Yeah, I like it honestly. I like the idea of the Shadow Proclamation because they were referenced in Rose, and we were reviewing Rose and the Hooven High Council. And I bring up that in the Stolen Earth they do eventually go there, and it's a nice plot thread that's sort of there, and it's been hanging around, and then they get to finally use it. I don't know, just something like that just bring up that nostalgia. I'm like, ah, yes, yes, Shadow Proclamation being mentioning quite a few, and then loose plot threads, but at least Russell T Davies fixes them.
Yeah.
Unlike some,
Yeah, unlike some people.
unlike some
Uh,
people.
no, I think
The cracks, the bloody Time Lords coming through. They're gonna do a Time War point two.
The problem is, right? It's Stephen Moffat, right? His story arcs are so complex that it looks as though he's made it up as he went along, and he's got making a lot of work for himself. Whereas Russell T Davies, he just has a character randomly say bad wolf, and then he can just work around plot hole,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what I love though is that like the references are so subtle. I mean, I love how in an episode of Torchwood, there was in the background there was a Vote Saxon poster on the wall.
Yeah.
That was I just love how subtle like the foreshadowing is.
Hmm.
Although, to be honest, I think it kind of did get a little bit repetitive though. How each year it was sort of the same thing. There would be a little thing, and then it would lead up to the finale. I think that's a little bit repetitive, but it's not that much of it. It's not. I'm not complaining.
I prefer that, to be honest, but I'd rather have it, all tied up nicely with a bow towards the finale instead of having to wait till the next series to actually get a proper answer. And the thing is, you never get an answer.
Absolutely. Matt, what do you think of Nicholas Briggs as the Dalek voice?
As Dalek voice, he's quite superb, I think. As a Cyberman, on the other hand, I have many problems with the present-day Cybermen. No, sort of even in the Tennant era, and especially now. Now we've got Iron Man as the Cyberman, but
Sorry.
yeah. As Briggs as the Daleks voice, he's quite superb, I think. And I've seen some people say, we should get somebody else, try a different voice. But I disagree. I think you should do as long as whatever until he wants to leave, because I think he's great. I think he's a good job with the Daleks. But also we've got to remember, he's a writer for Big Finish, and he does a great job there as well. And he does, of course, does the Daleks in Big Finish as well, which he's great in that as well, especially in audio. Yeah, like Harry said, it's great.
Absolutely, and I'm pretty sure we've gone through all the Daleks throughout all of Doctor Who. Oh, by the way, happy birthday, Christopher Eccleston.
Oh yeah, birthday Eccleston.
Happy birthday.
Even though many people hate he died in.
Cool cakes. The type.
Ooh, Eve Miles is hopeful for Torchwood Series 5. He says there's been talks about it for a while.
Sudden change of heart after all this,
Yeah.
This is on Doctor Who TV. This news.
Yeah. I've sort of just been going through the news, sort of bridge this thing, and then maybe we'll do some fan fiction or something, and then end it. Because me and Harry normally do fan fiction.
Sorry, did you say fan fiction? Ooh la 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 la.
We can't just end it on Daleks end. I think there would be something missing if I just pressed end broadcast.
One day.
Yeah, but you got
I'll
these tortured radio plays, spin-offs, things, whatever.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
There's loads of spin-offs now. People are like, oh, let's do like there's people when eventually we do a spin-off video. There's a load of spin-offs announced. There's the Kate Stewart one.
Yeah.
There's gonna be probably the Torchwood stuff.
Oh
There's
yeah.
there's a lot.
Yeah. I wonder where Big Finish are going to go further now, because if they can use like Kate Stewart, what else do they have the rights to?
I'd like to see
Sorry, guys,
Companion
we're not
Chronicles
going
with
big
Arthur Darvill and
We're just going to
James
make
Corden.
a series of countermeasures.
James Corden?
James
I
Corden.
don't, I don't know. I think that'd be interesting just for one.
Oh, I hate that. That'd be horrible.
Com-
I just
com-
find it
complete the just one just to complete it really.
Give me a headache. It'd be horrible.
I find it interesting though how like Big Finish are like, we're not gonna do a War Doctor series or anything like that. No, we'll give you another series of countermeasures or whatever it's called. The one with Gilmore and all them people from Remembrance of the Daleks.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Matt, is that any good? Have you listened to any of that?
No, I haven't. I haven't got much Big Finish to get more.
Has Kai listened to any of that?
I wouldn't mind betting he has it.
Ugh.
Oh, there's a few covers released. Deathmatch, the Entropy Plague, the Defectors. Pretty much the Doctors teaming up with different companions. That's like the Seventh Doctor and Joe, which I really want to listen to. That looks so cool.
Oh yeah, I
The
saw
Sixth
that,
Doctor
yeah.
with Jamie and Zoe. And Zoe, for God's sake, Victoria is. What do you guys think, Victoria or Zoe?
Victoria.
Zoe and Victoria. Oh, I'd probably say Victoria, but I do like Zoe.
I
I
find
think
it.
Victoria had that thing with her dad being shot in Evil of the Daleks. You know.
Oh, but you can't forget the Troughton speech. One of my favourite scenes ever. It's great.
Yeah, and she stood up to all the sexism.
Oh, I love that.
It's amazing.
Hmm. Brilliant.
Yeah. And then you got Peter Davison with Maureen O'Brien and Peter Purves. And the funny thing, Maureen O'Brien and Peter Purves may actually save that story. Because someone can't. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
And then there's Turlo, Tegan, and Nissa in one.
I don't
I was
mind
looking at
it.
these-
I don't mind it.
I'm half on half of him. There's moments where I just don't like him, and moments where
Ah,
I thought, eh.
No, I think that's what Turlo's like really. He's sort of
He held like Susan in his arms. It's like, what's gonna happen? We die.
die. Just he's funny.
Least hopeful ever.
Oh. No, I think Turlo's cool. No, I just find it funny how as soon as the Fifth Doctor meets him, he's just got his arm around him like, oh, this is Turlo. I mean, because there's no hanky panky in the TARDIS, he sort of just needed just sort of like a lad, like yeah, he's my boy, put his arm around him.
What do you think of Peter Davison, like literally saying, "Knew who is better"?
It's interesting, isn't it?
I know. He's like, no hanky panky and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So what's he saying? He promotes interspecies stuff.
He basically has box sets of Secret Diary of a Cool Girl and watches the hell out of them.
Oh gosh. I wonder if that show's actually any good.
Well, it's worth a shot.
50 Shades of Rose.
Ooh la la.
Hmm.
Mind you, I always thought that 50 Shades of Grey was just a colouring textbook or something.
Imagine.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
I thought if it was still on the air. Should we end it, guys?
Better.
Yep. Thank you for watching our Dalek hangout and sort of.
Before we do, we should probably go through like our least favourite and favourite Dalek story.
Yes, I forgot to say that. That was what I was holding out for. Sorry, I completely forgot. I couldn't do it last week because, like, favorite TARDIS story. What? Just pick out any Doctor Who story.
Favourite
Although,
TARDIS story.
the Doctor's wife,
Yeah.
because there was actually a story with the TARDIS in that one. Anyway, favorite favorite. Should we do top three best and top three worst?
Oh, go on. Yeah.
Okay.
What's your top three best, Matt?
Top three, here we go. Right, number one, Genesis, obviously. Number two, Remembrance. Number two, Remembrance. No, what's my third favourite there? Oh god, that's a hard one. Okay, can you come back to me on the third one?
All right then, Harry.
Best, you saying?
Yeah, top three.
Oh gosh. Oh damn it.
I should really write notes down like you do, Matt, because you got it all out and go
Nah.
through.
Oh.
That's
okay.
a great.
Okay. Remembrance of the Daleks.
Is that which number's that?
1.
Oh,
It's a good
Dalek.
one.
yeah, it is.
I think Dalek. Maybe not. I don't know. Dalek and Genesis of the Daleks. I don't know, but I know what my top 3 worst are.
I think mine would be number 1 Genesis, number 2 Remembrance, and number 3 Dalek.
Right, okay.
Similar. Yeah.
Right,
What's
I
your
got-
third favourite, Matt?
Right, I got my third favourite now. Right, so Genesis number one, Remembrance number two. And I think, I don't know, this can change because the Series 1 Dalek stories are just superb. But I think at this moment in time, my third favourite is Parting of the Ways. I think so.
Ooh.
Hmm.
I'm reviewing that this
Wait.
week. Who show?
Oh, great, great.
Subscribe to Harry and watch Who Show.
Yeah. You did the good one last week. I like that one. It was great.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was a brilliant one.
Thank you.
I like. That reminds me when you load up a DVD. There's a guy just going, "Thank you."
No, yeah.
I don't know, something like that. Where was I?
What did you say? Your top three, Anna? Oh, yeah, did you?
Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, I was gonna say something. Battle Party Ways. It's a brilliant. I think that I may change my mind, but the Dalek really set that up, and it was Robert Sherman, and it was really
Yeah.
that it is a bit, And I'm trying to think of anything else, sort of. Well, if there was, I guess Into the Dalek maybe is my next best thing, or Planet of the Daleks.
Mm.
I'll probably put Planet of the Daleks and Into the Dalek on the same pedestal, actually.
Wow.
I give both an 8. I like both. All right, guys. Top 3 worst.
Here we go.
Harry, you knew yours.
Can I have mine in no particular order, or do I have to rank?
Yeah, sure. No particular order. Just
in no
3.
particular order: Asylum of the Daleks, Victory of the Daleks, and Destiny of the Daleks.
Destiny. Last night.
Destiny is probably my least favourite.
Matt.
Right. Worst ever, I think, is Asylum. I absolutely hate it. Then probably Victory. Then it's either for this one. I'm gonna say either the Series 3 to Part 1. I find that rather weak.
Oh, that's
I
bad.
don't like that one. Or I don't know. Maybe it might be a bit higher, but probably Destiny to go with it as well.
All right. Asylum. I'll probably put Daleks in Manhattan, Evolution of the Daleks, and another one. Unless Evolution of the Daleks in Manhattan, Evolution of Daleks count as 2 separate ones, then I've technically named my 3. But what would be another favorite? Another disfavorite or disfavorite? Yeah, I'll probably go with oh god. I can't think of one really.
What about Destiny? You like it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably put Destiny. There we go.
Don't blame you.
Top 3 best and top 3 worst. Hmm.
Oh, we ended it on a negative note. We should end it on a positive note. Oh.
Favorite Dalek writer?
Oh, good one.
Ooh la 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 la.
Terry Nation.
I would say,
Oh, yeah, Bobby's on. Obvious answer, but yeah, Terry Nation. Genesis the
Termination's
Daleks.
a funny one
Superb.
because Termination's a funny one because he wrote obviously the majority of the first set of Dalek stories, but he also wrote.
I know
Death-
2 more actually.
Ben Aronovich, he's great.
Oh gosh!
And Robert Sherman. Ben Arovich and Robert
And
Sherman.
Robert
Yeah, I was
Sherman.
gonna say.
Of
Yeah,
course,
I
Robert Sherman.
think Rob Sherman. No, Ben Aronovich for me.
Hmm. That's a
Well,
positive note. I was trying to think of any other Dalek questions. Top 3 Dalek designs?
Top 3, right, here we go.
oh God, we could go on forever with this.
Yeah, we could, but
Why not?
we've got plenty of time. Right, here we go.
It's more nostalgia to look back on as well.
All right, for me, top 3 Dalek designs. Special weapons. This is in no particular order. Special weapons, bronze Daleks. Let's say the black and yellow Dalek.
Awesome.
Whatever one that was. I've not got the page up anymore.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
Yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
What's yours, Matt?
Right, okay. Favourite special weapons? Second, probably, right. Second favourite. I think, you know what? I think I'm going to go for the 1960s one. The grey
Yeah.
and the blue spheres, what do you call them? Yeah. And then for my third, probably right. Let's have a look at them. I might go for this. Oh god, right. Maybe it's not canon, but I'm gonna go for one from the Peter Cushing movies. You know, and I'm gonna go for the Dalek Saucer Commander.
Yes, that's a good one. Airfist. In no particular order, I'd say I'm gonna put the grey Daleks on there because it's the genesis of the Daleks and the 1960s Dalek and Special Weapons Dalek. Runner-up is the bronze Dalek from new series. I was waiting for such giggle.
Sorry.
I think that's it for Dalek questions. I don't know what more you
Yes,
could ask.
fan fiction, but I don't want to tie you guys out.
No, not fanfic.
Alright, I think we'll just end it there. We'll do fan fiction off air, I think. Well, that's what we'll do.
Oh yes. Yes, that'll tire us out.
Okay.
Thank you for watching, guys, for all this Dalek mania, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye!
Bye.